Hi guys, I'm the Ember, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this satisfying illusion in Blender. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, so I'm not going to delete the default cube this time, but I will get rid of the light, and I'm going to select the cube and press S and then Z, and I'm just going to hold Control so that is like this. I'm going to scale this down a little bit more, so just S and Z. Now I'm going to press SY and then you can just type in 10. And then Control A and apply scale. Now I'm going to go over to the modifiers and add a bevel. Let's make this amount of 5 and 0.013. So we just got a nice bevel there. I might even scale this down some more, so SZ. So it's nice and thin like that. And you can just adjust this to how you like. I think that is good. Press Ctrl A and apply scale again. Yes, and that's looking very nice. Okay, so now I'm going to add a simple deform modifier. And I'm going to put this on twist and the Y axis and make this 720. But you can see that this doesn't really work properly, so we're going to press tab to go into edit mode and Control R, then you can scroll your mouse wheel up. And we're just going to add lots of vertices like this. Then you can click and right click to cancel the location, then Control R. I'm going to do it again the other way, so there is like a cube in between each one, and then we're gonna do that. So now we've got little cubes and that is looking really good. I'm going to right click and shade smooth. That looks really good. And I'm going to select our camera, press Alt R and Alt G, RX90, RZ90, and move this on the x-axis pretty far back like this. Now I'm just going to rotate this on the Y, on the x-axis, to about 90 degrees. We can hop in the camera, and I'm just going to need to change some camera settings. So we're going to go to the output properties, and I'm just going to swap these two values around like this, so then it's vertical. And we can just move this back even further till we've got a good shot like this. Okay, so if you just rotate this by pressing R then Z, you can see that we've already kind of got our illusion. So now I'm just going to add those like little portal things at the bottom. So Shift A, Mesh, Cylinder. I'm going to click this drop down here and press 100. Type in 100 for the vertices. Right click, shade auto, smooth. Going to scale this up a little bit and scale it on the Z axis to roundabout like this. Now I'm going to press the / and this just isolates the object. Tap to go into edit mode, 3 to go to face select mode, or you can click this button up here. I to insert, and I'm going to insert pretty fair way like this. Then press E to extrude this down to around about here. Now we can tab out of edit mode, Control A, and apply the scale. And I'm also going to add a bevel modifier. And we can just adjust these values. 5 segments. And then we're going to right click and shade auto smooth. Okay, so now we've got our portal. I'm going to press / again to bring the objects back. And I'm just going to scale this up a little bit more. Now I'm going to press G then Z and move this down. And I'm just going to move this a bit more down till the bottom of the twist is just going inside our object like that. I might make the amount of the bevel a bit more, like this. I'm going to duplicate it, move it up, and just press RX, and then we want to type in 180. And that looks pretty good, like this. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into camera view and select the camera. I might zoom it in a little bit. This looks pretty good. Now I'm going to select our object and I'm going to press I and insert rotation. Make sure you're at the first frame when you do this. I'm going to go to 150 and RZ 720. And then I insert rotation again. And I'm just going to change the end down to 150. Okay, so now if we press play, you can see we do have our animation. Kind of speeds up at the start and slows down at the end. So to fix that, we can press T and choose linear. So now the motion is the same. Okay, so we're going to go over to the shading menu. And I'm just going to go to the camera icon over here and change the render engine from Eevee to Cycles. Cycles is a bit more realistic than Eevee. And I'm going to change the viewport samples to 32 and the max samples in the render to 128. I'm going to go into camera view and select our object. It already has a principled BSDF on it, so we can just change some values here. I'm going to change metallic all the way up, roughness to about 0.33. That's basically it for this. I'm going to select these bottom ones, add a new material, change this down to make it a bit grayer, like this. Metallic up, roughness to about 0.24. Select the other one and we can just apply that same material. We want the inside to be a glowing material, so I'm just going to click on this slot here, make a new one. Then I'm just going to go to the material panel over here, make a new one, tab into edit mode, select this bottom face here and click assign. So now we've got this material on it. I'm going to add a emission shader, plug that in. Going to make this a slight blue color and make emission strength to 10. Now we need to do the same with the top one. Going to isolate this object again by /, tab, select this face here, add a new material, and we can just make it that glow and then click assign. / again, and I'm going to go back into camera view. Okay, so for the edges of this object, I basically did the same thing we just did with the emission. I'm going to just make a new material, tab into edit mode, zoom in a bit. We can just hold down Alt and select this row like this, then Shift Alt for the other one. And we want the edges as well, so hold down Shift Alt, and that's good. Now we're going to select this second material, click assign, and we're going to turn the roughness down to 0.18 and the transmission all the way up. Now I can tab back out and this is starting to look good. So I'm going to hop over into rendered view here, and you can see that it's looking pretty plain. So what I did to get cool lighting is I just went to Pexels and I just typed in abstract. And then there's heaps of cool abstract images and I just downloaded one of them. So once you've downloaded a photo, you can go over to the world and change this to environment texture. And then you can just click open and select your file. And then you can see that your picture is in. And that gives it some pretty cool lighting. So I'm just going to press Shift A, mesh plane, RX90, RZ90, and I'll just move this back a bit. Go back into camera view, press S to scale this up, so then it fits the whole camera. And I'm just going to add a new material, make this pretty metallic, and you can turn down the roughness a bit to get a cool gradient on the back. Okay, so we're nearly done, but I'm just going to go to the render settings here, down to color management, and make this high contrast. Now I'm just going to press F12 and this will render one image. Okay, so now that's rendered, we can just close this and then go to compositing, use nodes, and I'm just going to drag this over here, and then you can hold down Control and Shift and click on this to add a viewer node. Hold down Shift and right click and drag to join these together. Then you can press Shift A, and I'm going to add a glare node. You can also press V to zoom out of this image, and Alt and middle mouse button to move it. Alt V is to zoom in as well. And we're going to click here and change streaks to fog glow, like that, and that looks pretty good. And we can just press Ctrl S to save this again. And I'm going to go back to shading. I might make this emission a tiny bit brighter, so let's go 15. Ctrl S, and now I'm just going to go to this printer icon here, and then go down to the output, and you can save this wherever you want to by clicking this button here. Then I'm going to change the file format from PNG to FFmpeg video, and the encoding to MPEG-4. So now all we have to do is go up to render and render animation. But before you render this, I'd recommend saving your file, and then we can just click this. And once this is rendered, you'll have a really cool animation to show to your family and friends. I hope you learned something and enjoyed making this animation. If you want to see more of my content, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.